give up our land! The government needs to give us a home!
The government is taking our freedom, and we have to stand up and fight for it. And I think that's what these good people are doing here.
My family and the community has run these hills and enjoyed these hills for generations. Never once in the history of this nation have those mountains ever been restricted from us. And yet this week, they were.
Good morning. Cliven, my purpose out here this morning is to continue, from my standpoint, to keep a very emotional issue safe. The BLM is going to cease this operation. And they will be removing their assets here in Clark County.
Sounds to me like a little negotiation going on. We're not ready to negotiate, are we? No! This is what we, the people, are asking this morning. Disarm the Park Service. Take your county bulldozers and loaders and tear down entrance places why they ticket us. Till that time, we're going to stand and be ready to fight.
We were actually strategizing to put all the women up at the front. If they're going to start shooting, it's going to be women that are going to be televised all across the world getting shot by these rogue federal officers.
I just wanted to come down here and at least let you know, hey, we're working on it.
As soon as the sheriff was here, things got calm and I felt a lot better. They are, by the demands of the people, they will have the cattle to what's it?
They have agreed to pull out. They're going to start loading their equipment immediately. There's been no shot fired. There's not going to be any shot fired.
I'm so emotional. I don't know if I can even talk at this point. We're so happy. I mean, this is what we wanted. It was one man standing, but now he has thousands on his side.
I am so happy I get to open the gates. I get to open the gates and let our babies out, our calves. They get to go back home. They get to go home to the river. They get to go clear to the ranch down the road. We're so excited.
And the moms will be looking for
their babies. And oh, it's the most wonderful day in all the world.
And tonight, Senator Harry Reid has responded, saying that, in fact, it is not over. Back with us tonight, Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy. We're also joined by his two sons, Amon and Ryan. Guys, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Well, let me ask you, because Harry Reid just spoke earlier tonight, and he said that, well, it's not over. He said, quote, we can't have an American people that violate the law and then just walk away from it, so it's not over. What is your response to Harry Reid?
I don't have a response for Harry Reid, but I have a response for every sheriff across the United States. Every county sheriff across the United States to disarm the federal bureaucrats. Take the federal United States bureaucrats' guns away. That's my message today.
You said that to the sheriff, Cliven. You said to disarm the Park Service, meaning the Bureau of Land Management. I mean, there were, what, 200 people surrounding your ranch, and there were snipers, and, I mean, it was really a precarious situation there all weekend up until this got resolved, right?
Yes, and if the county sheriff had taken away the weapons from the BLM, those patriots would not have to march before these guns. And that's a terrible thing, to put American people in that situation. But they did, and we didn't have a county sheriff, we didn't have a state government, and we, the people, marched, and the BLM backed down. Now, they backed down. Let me tell you how they backed down. They backed down, they got on the freeway and went to Mesquite and grabbed their stuff and moved out of the state. Now, towards the state of Utah. Utah County sheriffs finished this job that Gillespie didn't do. Take the guns away from these federal bureaucrats.
You had a county commissioner in Clark County that literally called after a commissioner in Utah said that ranchers were going to go out there in support and solidarity of you. He called them inbreds, and that they better hope he hopes they have made their funeral plans. Whatever happened to him?
Well, you know, we had a mandate for the county commissioners. We said, tear down those toll stations in these parks. We've already paid for these parks. Don't be charging us again. And we give the county commissioners the charge to tear them down with your bulldozers.
Yeah. Amon, let me ask you.
I don't know that...
Go ahead, sir. Finish your point.
Well, I haven't heard from the county commissioners, and the media hasn't reported back to me, so I don't know whether they got tore down or not.
What is your position, Ryan?
Well, I think that's pretty easy. I think we, the people, have spoken, haven't we? What is one man's word? Doesn't matter what position he has. The people have spoken and said this is no longer going to take place. So we don't fear Harry Reid. The people are here to say we will have our freedom. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen.
You see, I think the
genie's out of the bottle. It's going to happen.
There's no doubt about it. From my perspective, as somebody that follows politics very, very closely, we have rapists and murderers and bank robbers and pedophiles out there, and they've got 200 agents, you know, surrounding your ranch because your cows are eating grass and on land that they don't even want or need, and that you're arguing isn't even theirs. So they realized, I think, at some point politically that this was going to backfire on them. So I think this was done for political reasons. Cliven, do you see that?
Well, it's definitely done for political reasons. They wanted to show the American people in the world that they had unlimited power, and they had taken over state sovereignty, or Nevada laws, or public lands.
All right.
You know, listen, do you think they really have taken it over? I don't think so. They might have took over our Clark County Sheriff, but they never took over we, the people, the sovereign people of this nation. We're standing, and we're gonna stand until we take the guns away from those bureaucracies, and then we'll start making America great one more time.
Now, you argue that this is state land, and the governor even said that the Bureau of Land Management went overboard. The government's claiming it's federal land. What's your reaction to what they say?
Well, that's the argument here. Who has sovereignty? Is it the federal government, or is it the state? And here's the question. If Cliven Bundy is a trespasser, let me redo that, Sean.
Yeah.
If Cliven Bundy's a trespasser, then who is the trespasser here? Is it the United States trespassing on Clark County public land of the state of Nevada? Or is it Cliven Bundy trespassing on Clark County, Nevada, public land of the state of Nevada? Who is the trespasser here? Who is the trespasser with the guns?
How do they possibly get to $1 million that you would have to pay for your cows eating grass that they don't even care about, and they're not on land they're not using?
Well, the only thing I can say is it sounds like a government deal to me. But let me tell you something.
Yeah. That sounds like a government deal. That's a good point.
Yeah. If I owe grazing fees, money to a government, I would be happy to pay it to the proper government. But I'll be darned if I'm going to pay grazing fees to the United States government.
Ryan, Amon, what are you going to do if they come and they want to lock your dad up?
We'll tell you, Sean, the same thing we've been telling everybody for the last 20 years. We will do whatever it takes.
But let me add something in here, Sean. I want to add something in here, Sean. I'm not going to have no fear of the federal government. They have no jurisdiction or authority or policing power or arresting power. I'm going to put my faith in a county sheriff that's going to protect me, my life, liberty, and property, and a state of Nevada that's going to do that. I'm a betting that they better get themselves up out from underneath the desk and come and protect me this next time. And that's from a foreign government like the United States. They're not part of this sovereign state. They're a foreign government.
I think your case just became a rallying point. Have you thought about it at all? Have you thought why your case got so much attention?
Okay, it's these agencies making these codes and saying they're laws, and then they got law enforcement and judges and prisons and courts and everything to enforce those laws when none of them have been legislated and they're all unconstitutional.
Yeah, and let me add to that. You know, I read through the Declaration of Independence the other day, and it struck me. And there's some lines here. It says, "Experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while the evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms of which they are accustomed." That is what the message is. That is why people resonate with us so much. It's not about our little band of cattle. It's not about our family. It's because they are experiencing the same suffering that we are. And so they flock to this situation. The suffering has been sufferable. It's been bearable, but it's no more. And that's what this declaration, it says, "But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism." Isn't that what was happening to us here? We had snipers on the hill ready to shoot. We had high surveillance cameras and sound equipment against us. We had 200 agents here beating us up and tasing us and stealing our property and tearing down our infrastructure of our ranch. Is that not absolute despotism? Is that not what the people are feeling around this nation? That is why they come flocking here.
And the fact that Harry Reid can't see that, Sean, is almost appalling.